Have you ever left your cat alone for just a few hours and wondered what could possibly be going on while you're gone? What if your cat decides that the house is suddenly a jungle gym and not the fun kind? What if your favorite shoes vanish into a mysterious black hole? Or the curtains suddenly look like the perfect place to practice their climbing skills? Or worse, what if your cat's perfectly calm, silent demeanor hides a little panic you'll never see until you come home to chaos? It's easy to brush it off. Cats are independent, we tell ourselves. But here's the part most people miss. The things you think are harmless while you're away. Sometimes they're not. So buckle up. You're about to learn the mistakes that could be driving your cat crazy without you even realizing it. 1. Leaving without a pattern, the invisible trigger. Let's start with something that doesn't feel like a mistake at all. Leaving randomly. Different times, different routines. Sometimes quick, sometimes long. To you, that's just life. To your cat, that's chaos with a polite face. Think about this for a second. Cats don't track time the way we do. They don't think, oh, you'll be back in 3 hours. They track patterns. So when those patterns are inconsistent, your cat isn't thinking, cool, variety. They're thinking, I have no idea what's about to happen. And that uncertainty, that's what creates low-level stress. Not panic, not destruction. Just that subtle edge that builds over time. You might notice it as extra following before you leave, unusual staring, or that sudden sit directly on your laptop move. Coincidence? Not really. And this leads to something even more interesting. What you do right before leaving matters more than the leaving itself. 2. The big goodbye mistake. Now this one feels like the right thing to do. You crouch down, pet them. Maybe say something like, I'll miss you, okay? Be good. Possibly a forehead-to-forehead moment. A tiny emotional speech. Meanwhile, your cat is thinking, what is happening and why is this suddenly intense? Here's what most people miss. Cats don't interpret long goodbyes as reassurance. They interpret them as a change in emotional tone. And when your behavior suddenly shifts, it signals something different is happening, which raises their alertness, not comfort. So instead of calming your cat, you may actually be creating a moment of tension right before you leave. It's like someone hugging you for way too long before walking out of a room. You'd probably think, okay, something's up. Same idea. And this connects directly to the next one. 3. Sneaking out. Yes, that backfires too. So if big goodbyes don't work, you might think the opposite is better. Just slip out quietly. No attention, no signals, no event. Seems smart, right? Except here's the twist most people miss. Cats are excellent observers. They notice movement changes, routine shifts, subtle behavior cues. So even if you think you left unnoticed, they often know. But now something feels incomplete. There was no transition, no closure in their pattern. So instead of, oh, they left, it becomes, something changed, and I don't understand how it ended, which can create more confusion than clarity. And if you've ever wondered why your cat suddenly appears at the door after you thought you snuck out, yeah, that's not magic. That's pattern detection catching up. Now hang on, because this next one explains why some cats get into trouble the moment you leave. 4. Not setting up their environment. This one is less about what you do, and more about what you don't do. You leave. House is quiet, still, nothing changes, and your cat is left with, well, very little to do. Now here's where things get interesting. Cats are both hunters and observers. They're wired for activity and stimulation in short bursts. So when there's nothing to engage with, they create their own version of it, which might look like knocking things off shelves, exploring forbidden areas, and testing gravity repeatedly, for science obviously. And it's not bad behavior, it's unmet stimulation. Think of it like this. If you were left in a room with nothing but a chair and a questionable lamp, eventually that lamp becomes very interesting, suspiciously interesting. So simple things like leaving a toy rotation, window access, and puzzle feeders can make a huge difference. But here's where people accidentally make it worse. 5. Overloading them right before you leave. Now this one sounds helpful at first. You try to tire them out. Play session, high energy, lots of stimulation. Then you leave. Problem solved? Not quite. Here's why. If the energy spike doesn't have a proper cool-down phase, your cat's nervous system stays activated. So instead of play to calm to rest, you get play to excitement to you disappear, which leaves them in a heightened state with nowhere to direct it. That's when you might see zoomies, sudden destruction, and restless pacing. This next part is subtle, but important. Cats need a wind-down moment before being left alone. A transition from activity to calm. Without it, the energy doesn't just vanish. It gets redirected. And that leads into something even more overlooked. 6. Ignoring their pre-leave signals. Have you ever noticed your cat acting differently right before you leave? Maybe following you more closely, sitting in your path, and watching you more intently. Most people either ignore it or brush it off. But here's the fascinating part. Your cat isn't being clingy for no reason. They're responding to a shift in your behavior. Your movement changes. Your focus changes. Your energy shifts. And they pick up on that instantly. So when they move closer, they're not trying to stop you. They're checking, are we still connected? And if that moment gets ignored repeatedly, it can create a subtle pattern of uncertainty. Not dramatic, not emotional in a human way, just less clarity, which over time can lead to more attention-seeking behaviors later. And this brings us to the one that surprises people the most. 7. Making your return a huge event. Now we've talked about leaving, but what about coming back? Because this part connects everything. You walk in, your cat greets you, maybe rubs against your legs, follows you around, and you respond with excitement, attention, energy, which feels completely natural. But here's the pattern your cat learns. Absence ends with a big emotional payoff. So now, leaving becomes more significant. Not because it's scary, but because it leads to a bigger event later, which can subtly increase anticipation, attention-seeking before you leave, clinginess patterns. It's not that you shouldn't greet your cat, it's just that calm consistency matters more than intensity. Because in your cat's world, predictability equals safety. And when both leaving and returning feel steady, everything in between becomes easier to handle. So remember that moment at the beginning? You standing at the door? Your cat watching you like a silent little security guard who doesn't get paid nearly enough for this job? That moment? It's not about you leaving. It's about what that moment means to them. And now, you know, it's not the absence that causes issues. It's the unpredictability, emotional shifts, and tiny signals around it. That shape how your cat experiences being alone. The good news? None of this requires dramatic changes. No overhauls. No perfect cat parent certification. Just small adjustments, cleaner patterns, calmer transitions, a little awareness. Because cats don't need constant attention. They need a world that makes sense. And if you give them that, they'll handle being alone better than you think. All right, I should probably go check why my cat is staring at the wall like it owes him money. I feel like I'm about to discover something I didn't want to discover. Catch you next time. FurEver.